He's not in. He's bleeding out of his ear. Get a medic. What the fuck you walking up on me? I'm gonna grab. Get the fuck away. Stop. Y'all don't want this shit.
Back up. Get off the steps. Let's go. Get back. Get back.
Better get an ambulance for him.
We have EMT on scene. Press! I'm press!
I don't care. Get down.
I am press.
I don't care. Get down.
Okay, I'm down.
Stay.
I am press. Please. I was just sprayed in the face with pepper spray. Currently have my head on the ground.
We're based in DC.
Somebody watching for cops. Yep.
The black lights are on.
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of like.
We got plenty of time here.
Are you okay?
I'm getting shot. I'm getting.
Katie, are you okay?
Rubber bullets. It's okay. It's those pepper bullets.
Are they?
bullets.
Who are they aiming that at?
Nice shooting at the
At
photographer.
us, like directly at us.
Why are they doing that?
He's shooting at our crew.
I don't
Do
know.
they not?
I had my notebook in my hand when the Minnesota State Patrol was advancing on protesters and us. We identified ourselves as press, and they fired tear gas canisters on us at point blank range. I got hit in the leg. I'll post a photo of that. We asked them, I was saying, where do we go? Where do we go? They did not tell us where to go. They didn't direct us. They just fired on us.
I'm sorry?
You're under arrest.
Okay. Do you mind telling me
whoa.
why I'm under arrest, sir? Why am I under arrest, sir?
Officer's with CNN and he's on the air right now.
Okay.
You are arresting him live on CNN. We told you before that we are with CNN.
I just want to remind you, nobody was doing anything. They pulled in, they opened fire. Look at them. They're aiming their fire now. They're working towards us. They're working. Step back, get back. Your head. He's head. Step back. I got it. Whoa, watch it, guys. We got gas here. Miguel, stay with me. Okay, we got gas. Continuing to fire at us. Okay, there we go. Here's a gas canister. All right, there has been no provocation, Joshua. There was nothing that happened whatsoever. The police pulled into this intersection unprovoked right into the middle of the crowd. All right, they're going to shoot.
Do we need to come back to you in a minute, Allie? Allie, let me give you a second to catch your breath.
All right, cut to the chase. Let's just cut to the chase. I'm back. Let's cut to the chase. And the chase be this racism narrative, this racist BS, because it ain't about race. Okay, as I've pointed out a million times before, the cops do not care what color you are. Your skin color is not the excuse that is used for them to attack anybody. Now, certain cops, individual cops, may have some racist inclination in their hearts and may take that out through the authority they've been given, and therefore they are a bad cop in all sense of the word. And they will be dealt with and weeded out, and nobody can guarantee that another event like this won't happen. We can pretty much guarantee that if it happens to a white guy, you're not going to hear about it, though. You're only going to hear about it if it's a black guy and caught on film. It's amazing, you know, that they still want to keep the racist narrative, even today at the funeral that they're broadcasting with the POSs like Al Sharpton, which are nothing but opportunists out there talking about Whitey is bad and Whitey this, and they just want us to shut up and all. No, there is no generalization here. This is not a racist country, regardless of what the left has been teaching the left. It's the most unracist country in the world. In fact, we have this is the melting pot. America has always been known as the melting pot, and yes, individuals will have prejudices against different races in all walks of life and in all history. You know, whether back in the day, you know, it was Irish and Scottish didn't get along. Irish and Englishmen didn't get along. I mean, it has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with your social status and what you've been taught. Okay, you want to end racism? Stop being a racist, and that goes especially for you black people. Okay, you during these riots and stuff, you have burnt down your own communities. You have burnt down businesses owned by minorities, whether they're Indian, black, Middle Eastern, whatever. These are businesses in your own communities you're destroying, you criminals. And I know none of you criminals are watching this, but I'm just setting the record straight for the difference between these people would take advantage at any time. Same with the ones that killed the cops. They're taking advantage of a situation and being opportunistic in what they would normally do anyway. I mean, here in Detroit is one of the top 5 murder capitals every day of America, regardless of any lockdowns, protests, riots, or any other excuses. These people will go around and they'll just shoot you for the hell of it. These gangbangers and these young dumb people. So, and I mean, they've defaced memorials that were memorials to black heroes, like in our infantry and stuff. The 54th Infantry in Boston, statue memorial that they, vandalized or whatever, and it was honoring the volunteer black men who fought for their freedom under the flag of the Yankees back then. You know, the Yankee flag, not the other flag that y'all don't like no more. The Southern flag. Oh, the flag of the Democrats. Yeah, the ones who wanted to keep you in slavery. But nevertheless, I digress. Point is, I hope that most people can see through this at this day and age in 2020. And other people talk of reparations and we want payback. And you know what? Some black people, especially those like Al Sharpton that are just opportunistic, money mongers, they want to make a buck and get their voice out there and be seen in the public eye as much as possible because that's their shtick, okay? Will never be happy and will always claim that we're all racist, even though they're the ones like Don Lemon on CNN that talk such racist rhetoric against white people. If any white person talked like he did against black people, they would have done killed him or got rid of him by now because that's that bad. I mean, this guy, some of you, in other words, will never be happy unless the white race bowed down and became your slaves for the next 200 years. And probably even then, you still wouldn't be happy because you'd be dead. Okay? And those, to my second point of that, nobody in this day and age has ever experienced the slavery that people keep complaining about, or the racism that you people keep complaining about and act like exists. That has not been in any of y'all's lifetimes except for the very elderly who are not the ones out on the streets complaining about it. Okay? You've not ever been a victim of any of that. In my whole 50-some years on this planet, blacks have always had equal opportunity as any of us whites. You've been in sports, you've been in entertainment, you've got Congress, Senate, cops. That's another ironic thing. Half of these precincts that you people are protesting against and attacking cops on, They're black cops. They're run by black police chiefs. Are you serious? So this is a racial issue? Really? I mean, pull your heads out of your butts, peoples. Really, I mean, it's insane. I'm sitting here watching insanity ensue in 2020 over issues that are non-issues. Problem, reaction, solution situation going on here, and everybody on both sides, whether it's the police attacking peaceful protesters for breaking curfew, which is a violation of the First Amendment. You can't set curfew on the right to assembly. Just like you can't take away guns from people. Technically, that's supposed to be not infringed, yet they're taking away guns left and right from people. If you have a gun and they decide that they want to charge you, they'll charge you with the gun as a gun charge and then take away your right to own guns because of that. Huh? It's a fascist system, and if you keep going the way y'all's going, you're going to get the fascist clamp down. All right? If you want martial law, keep it up. The race is... See, I'm so frustrated with this. People are being led like... It's like the Pied Piper and the rats in the streets. And all these people out there, rats in the streets, are just going along. And another thing that is disgusting to me lately, you people that complain about racism and always say we're racist, this and that and another thing, bad whitey, don't want equality. You want us to be submissive. You want domination over the white peoples. And has been demonstrated in yesterday's protest. You have hundreds of white people prostrating themselves on the ground, basically begging forgiveness for their so-called white privilege, which I don't know what that is. That's some bullshit they made up is what that is. Because I'm white, I ain't never had no special privilege. In fact, since I was pre-adolescent, I've had problems with the police and the system in this country. And been prosecuted by the system in this country as a runaway, and foster homes, treatment centers, juvenile centers, on into my adulthood, which wasn't much better. Okay? They didn't give a damn that I was white. I didn't get no special treatment because I was white. If anything, they were harder on me because I was white. I was expected to conform even more than other people may be expected to conform. Because I was white. It's all BS, man. And everybody's playing into the hands of the globalists and the people that want to destroy this country and play the politics game. Politics has been interjected on all sides of this in a over-exaggerated sense. And I see people just falling right in line. It's absolutely incredible. In this day and age of information, and as long as the information to wake up has been out there, easy to access on the internet, compared to my period of time when I went through awakening, there was no internet. Awakenings were prompted by music and movies and other, maybe free radio. People like Bill Cooper and others that were broadcasting over the airwaves, or other publications that you actually had to read. And then it got so easy after 9/11 with the internet, and still there are so many people, especially of the so-called information age generation, who are clueless. Because they spend all their time on their FaceTimes and their Snapchats and they're this, that, and another thing, trying to be a a popularity star or just being in their little box with their social gathering friends and locking everything out. These kids nowadays, and I will include my children in that category, have no desire for information. They have no desire for knowledge. They don't wish to gain knowledge. They are ignorant as crap and think that they know everything they need to know. And think that, it disgusted me to see all these snowflakes out there with their faces to the ground begging for forgiveness for their white privilege. It's wow. I don't even know what to freaking say to that.
Please just fucking attack them. Please just attack everybody for no reason. Holy shit. Training is the key to changing the behavior of the police. As soon as they started, and we warned you about this years ago after 9/11, when they started outfitting and training the police as paramilitary units, when they started using the Iraqi training, Afghanistan training, a lot of them soldiers from those wars in the Persian Gulf War, 91, come back and became officers. Much of the training, the way they handled detainees, as they call them now, all that military training came over to our police departments, and that's why the police behave the way they do now. If the police were trained differently, just like they were back in the day when I was growing up, and even before then, when they were not trained as paramilitary units, when they still wore blue instead of death black, that's the key. And bottom line, that's how you change it from the inside. Okay? You have to retrain them to treat people with respect, or at least to the degree of what they're accused of. Okay? If a bank robber comes flying out of the bank with his guns ablazing, etc., you got to do what you got to do. There's certain circumstances. But if you're going to, arrest a guy for possibly passing off a counterfeit $20 bill that maybe he didn't even know was counterfeit himself, you never know. You don't treat him like the bank robber who came out with his guns blazing. You have to find some degrees there. And of course, like I already mentioned, some people are just, you're always going to have the bad apples, and you can't say that reflects on the whole picture of any situation. So, okay. Obama tweet. Okay. They said today again something to the effect on the news about Obama giving his supporters their marching orders. Well, I found this tweet the other day very interesting. Somebody wrote it down for me. And I'm going to read it. And maybe if I can find a screenshot of this tweet, if somebody took it out there, I'll search for one. I'll put it in this video. But basically, this, to me, is a coded message tweet. And everybody been wondering where the bricks come from? Where the pallets of bricks that are just all of a sudden dropped off by truck in the middle of the roads by these buildings for the violent peoples? This is interesting. You know, I don't know. But listen. He says, and I quote his tweet, "I wrote out some thoughts on how to make this moment a real turning point to bring about real change, and pulled together some resources to help young activists sustain the momentum by channeling their energy into concrete actions." End quote. So what, is he encouraging the Antifa terrorists? Is he, you know, what, he pulled together resources for concrete action? Well, it just so happens that half of those pallets dropped off were concrete bricks and cinder blocks. That's interesting. You know, hey, I don't know. You know, I'm not necessarily making any accusations here. Anyway, you know, make of that what you will. But you have to realize we're in a war here. We've been in a war for this country for quite a while. And a lot of people haven't realized it. Some people that are waking up to certain things still don't really realize the extent of it. But it is a war. And it's not the kind of war that you can fight with bricks. You have to fight it with this. So that's, I mean, seriously, you have to fight it with this. Because that's what the war's for. It's for your mind. And ultimately for your soul. You know, I hope that, and I know that nobody gets to watch my videos. My videos, you know, my regular subs, thank you very much for my handful of views, usually less. I've got videos up that have been up for 7 years and still have maybe 100 views, if that, on them. And you know what the odds of that, just on chances of clickbaiting? You know, if YouTube was actually listing stuff and recommendations by category or tags, meta tags, etc., then you would randomly show up every now and then in the recommended file, right? And every now and then you would randomly get a click. And over the years, those random clicks would build up to numbers of views. I've had videos that have been on my channel for 7+ years and have stayed at the same number of views for that 7+ years. Okay, so I don't really make these videos for viewers, obviously, because I mean, there's other channels out here spouting all kinds of conspiracy theory bullshit, where I at least try to give you conspiracy facts if I'm dealing with conspiracy. Half my videos or more have nothing to do with conspiracies. They have to do with pure facts and knowledge. And personally, maybe I'm biased, but I think I got some great videos, even though I don't get views for them. But nevertheless, I make it as my own sounding board and to put it on the record. That's really all it's for, is putting it on the record and put my 2 cents in to the ether, as they say. I put my word out there. Those who see it, I hope you garner something from it. And maybe you don't. Maybe you totally disagree with everything I've ever said. And that's fine too. Because you truly are free if you're willing to claim your freedom. And so you are free to believe and think what you want, even if you think I'm a damn idiot and fool and whatever else you want to think about me. I don't care. I do this to get this stuff off my chest, and then I can get about my mediocre, menial life, right? My menial life of being Mr. Nobody, because ultimately I'm Mr. Nobody. So thanks for listening, and I hope people calm down soon and get a grip and realize that they're just playing into the hands of the enemy, and the change that they seek, it will never be achieved by the means they are trying to achieve it by. If you want to change the system, you have to change the system using the tools of the system. It's that simple. That's the only way the system will change. You can't overthrow the system. There is no revolution out there strong enough to overthrow this system. Okay? You can only work with it and within it to try to change it. And I don't mean fundamentally change it like the socialists and communists want to do. I mean change the injustices within the framework that has been created for you. Because the framework is there. It's been manipulated, mangled, turned upside down on its head, but it is still there. But if you replace God with the state, and if you're a godless heathen, then you deserve the state rule that you're going to get. Because only God guarantees your rights. If you want rights that man can't take away from you, you better not be relying on the state. That's all I can say. So, yeah, I'm out. I don't know. I've talked long enough. Thanks for watching. This is my check-in. It's a, I don't know, man. It's a sad day for so-called justice. Which, means just us. But anyway. 2 meanings to every word. A lot of them have 3. But we won't get into that. We've gotten into that before. Go back. Look at some of my older videos. I've got a ton of them.
Come to me right now. 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 This woman just got tased.